All right, must stop Murad. You guys know who I'm talking about by now, I hope. Meme coin Jesus, the man who owns 2.8% of a token that he thinks is going to go to $100 billion, SPX 6900. This guy here, OX Finish, says that he's made over $100 million in crypto. I actually haven't verified that claim. I know he's made over $32 million because we've got his wallets and we track them, but apparently he's been around for a couple of cycles and he's worth over $100 million. And he's literally got his billionaire portfolio locked in. We've been covering it a bit on this channel. If you don't follow us already, hit that subscribe button because we track the best traders in the world and the biggest influencers to save you time and give you all the information all in one spot. In this video, I'm going to answer a question that I personally had. Which of Murad's tokens does he think has the most ROI, return on investment, left in it? We've got two tokens here that he thinks have more than 100x, and one lowest token here has an 18x return. So we're going to go into exactly what that is. Before we do, let's address the elephant in the room. How can this man think that a token is going to hit $100 billion when it's a meme coin and it's backed by absolutely nothing? Well, I've covered this a little bit on the channel already, actually. Go back and watch those videos. But he thinks it's not a crazy prediction. 5 bill, 50 bill, $100 billion for a meme coin, what you'd call vaporware, community token. It's happened in the past, he says. He looks at Dogecoin, which he says hit $94 billion. I believe when I look on CoinMarketCap, it's more closer to 84 bill, but maybe I think CoinMarketCap also doesn't track the highs of the days. It's the average of the day or something along those lines. This is his list here. So he's got these 10 coins. Now he does own more than just these 10 coins. That's why I've got this sheet here for you. So you can go and have a look, see the fungi, see the skibidi, I don't actually know how to say that one, but they're not on that list, but they are in the portfolio that we made for you. Link in the description below if you want to grab it for yourself. He put out his official targets of when he's long-term, I believe LT means long-term targets, on when he's going to sell it. But we have no idea how high have these already gone. I know SPX 6900's run 100x very recently. So does it still have a lot left, or are we better getting into the smaller tokens, something like Mini that only has a $2 billion market cap but hasn't been realized as much yet by the mainstream? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about. I've got an actual very fascinating graph for you that I found on Google Trends that I'm excited to show you. Before I do show you that, I want to show you this last one, which is in yesterday's video if you didn't see it. This is Murad's timeline because it's cool to know what he thinks is going to happen, but I feel like when it's going to happen is probably more important, maybe slightly less important, but they both are really important if you want to make the same returns that Murad has made. So you can see he's got this green box going up for the total market cap of meme coins. He thinks it's going to be bullish and basically maybe 4 or 5x overall by March 2025. So he thinks we're going to have a very bullish Q4 and Q1, but he thinks most of the gains, as you can tell by this much larger green box over here, is going to happen in late 2025, and he just says that 2025 is going to be insane for meme coins. That's the meme coin super cycle where we're all supposed to get rich. Have a look at this graph though, because this is Murad's theory, is we're all getting in now. Everyone pack your bags, buy as much of these tokens as possible. This is not me telling you to do that. This is what Murad is basically inferring. He's saying buy as much of this as possible because we're early. Retail is coming. If you don't understand who retail is, it's like it's your dad, it's your uncle, it's your cousin who don't do crypto. They have 9-to-5 jobs, or they're accountants, or they're something not in the crypto world at all. And once Bitcoin crosses all-time high, once these altcoins start rallying, and once these tokens, including the ones on Murad's list, have already done a 10 or 50x from here, guess who finally hears about them and finally wakes up? The alpha travels down all the way to the end of the line where the retail is sitting and they have the most money, because most of it, 90% of the world is retail investors who in Wall Street, they call them the dumb money. So the theory goes, and I'll show you on the Dogecoin graph here, early adopters, they're all these years here, early adopters when it's basically flat. They're like, of course, Doge is going to be massive. And then come the middle adopters in here. I actually bought Doge at 5 cents last time, so I guess IMM was in the middle down here. And then guess what happens? It hits retail, it hits news outlets, it hits your cousin, it hits your dad, it hits your grandma, and boom, another 10x from there. So if I held all the way, I would have had a 10x on my returns. But there's some people that had 1,000x because they bought way before me. This is what retail money looks like, and look how quickly it dumps, because that's 90%. There's no one to buy the bag after they buy it. That is what the theory is here. Have a look, however, at this Google Trends. This is very eye-opening to me. So in blue is Bitcoin, because we're basically all just trading narratives here. And the more people looking for Bitcoin, more than likely the more people there are buying Bitcoin. And if you correlate the graphs, there's a really high correlation to that. And retail, because the most people are there once these Bitcoin, the blue ones, spike. So you can see retail's definitely not there. It starts to be here, sort of early adopters. Retail's here. Retail's definitely here at this massive spike back in 2021 and then crashes. You can see back in March this year, we got a bit more bullish. And the Bitcoin demand actually went up to 57 compared to 57% of its all-time high in 2020, which is a solid amount of interest. But now it's back down at 18, 19. So retail is a long way away still, even though we're having bullish meme coin seasons and we're making a bit of money, which feels great. Let me show you, however, the meme coins. Dogecoin in red and yellow is Shiba. This was obviously the token I just showed you, the one that apparently got to a $94 billion market cap. Have a look when mainstream and retail actually started searching for it. You could see it was after Bitcoin hit its all-time high, and it was all of a sudden. But even that's not quite mainstream, because you can see on this Dogecoin volume there in the middle, it actually surpassed the demand for Bitcoin in terms of search volume on Google worldwide, which is phenomenal. That's when you know mainstream and retail are here. And if you line up the price, it correlates 1-to-1. Let me show you on Shiba. So Shiba is the same. You can see there's a yellow bump up here. Once people were making money on Doge, they're like, what other dog coins are out there? Shiba was number 2. People sent it to Vitalik's wallet. And they're like, okay, this is going to be the next Doge, was the narrative there. Okay, it dropped off, but then it had its second pump, and it actually surpassed. You can see 48 was the score for Shiba. Bitcoin 39. It passed the search volume of Bitcoin, and you can see these the graph of demand versus price. It's basically 1-to-1. You can see it pumped here, and then it pumped even harder here, and that's when it crossed the demand volume of Bitcoin and it fell. With that in mind, knowing that when the prices of Dogecoin and Shiba fell in the last bull market, it had passed the search demand for Bitcoin. Have a look at where we're currently at. I've loaded in the SPX 6900 and Popcat, 2 relatively new memes, or Murad's memes. Have a look at their relative search volume compared to Bitcoin. It almost doesn't exist. It's less than Shiba right now, but they're crossing the $1 billion market cap, which just means retail is not here. Now, I'm not saying these things are going to fly. That's not my thesis. That's Murad's thesis. What I am saying is that Murad is correct that if these tokens are the meme coin tokens of this cycle, that's what we're deciding. If they're not the meme coin tokens of the cycle and you're just in the wrong boat and the other ones fly, that's our discernment. We have to choose which ones we think are going to be the main memes of the meme super cycle. But what I am saying is that retail is nowhere to be seen right now. Even Bitcoin only being at an 18 relative search volume means we're far, far away from retail saturating Bitcoin. So if you have decided that you want to follow Murad, I wanted to show you this sheet that I whipped up and I added an extra column because I feel like this might be the most important thing. Murad has a column here on the right, which is his long-term targets, which infers when he's basically going to be trying to get out. And remember, he has 2.8% of the supply for SPX 6900. So if he actually thinks it's going to 100 bill, it means he's got 2.8 billion US dollars from this meme coin, which would just be absolutely a phenomenal thing to see. But the way my brain has been working and my theory with these meme coins is actually the opposite of Murad. And I bow down to Murad's thesis. He's the one who's got 32 million US dollars of meme coins, and I do not. So I wanted to basically highlight the difference in my thinking with memes and his thinking to sort of recalibrate my own thinking and maybe yours. So something like SPX 6900, which is 72% of Murad's portfolio, it's over a $700 million market cap. And in my head, I'm like, wow, that's so high. Why don't we look down the list? Why don't we go to something that has a $38 million market cap? That is way smaller, 20 or so times smaller, and therefore will have a lot more upside because they're all part of his portfolio. If they all move to the same price target, then you're going to get a way higher yield on that. However, his price targets scale based on how big the coins actually are. And so he thinks that USA could only really reach about just under a $2 billion market cap, which would give it one of the worst returns in his whole portfolio of 46 times your money back. So if you put $1,000 in, you'll get 46 grand back. The worst one, which was actually surprising, is Popcat. Although it's at a $1.3 billion market cap already, which is the biggest in his entire portfolio, he only thinks it's got a price target of $25 billion, which would be an 18x return. So you put 1 grand in and get $18,000, almost $19,000 back. That's the lowest performing prediction on this whole sheet. The other middle ones, which are a $50 and a $60 million market cap, again, my theory of like, oh, okay, let's jump into those because they have the lower market caps. They could fly a whole lot more. They're more volatile. He thinks that the mainstream, it's not really going to reach as much mainstream as the big ones like SPX 6900. And therefore, he's only got a 50x and a 40x only got on those predictions. The 37x on MOG, which is a bigger one. It's at an 862 mil market cap. And his highest prediction, that is 32 bill, which again, puts it under the 40x return. If we have a look at which ones are passing the 50x return, he's got Bitcoin, which is the Sonic, Inu, Obama. I don't really know the order of those words perfectly, but he thinks that's going to get to a 20 billion. The narrative there, which is actually quite hilarious, is you don't want to miss Bitcoin twice because their ticker symbol is Bitcoin. There it is, Harry Potter. Obama, Sonic, 10 Inu is that meme coin token. It's a funny one, and he's got 2.34% of his portfolio, or $740,000 US sitting in that Bitcoin that he doesn't want to miss twice. But the highest performing ones are actually quite interesting. He's got at an 84x return. Both of these are basically an 84x return. Apu, which he holds $267,000 worth of, and then Giga or Giga Chad, which he thinks can get to a $50 billion level, which is the second highest prediction behind SPX 6900, and it's currently basically $600 million market cap from there. And interestingly enough, I actually saw his thesis on this, which I kind of was intrigued by. So Giga is like the very pro masculinity, pro strong jawline, alpha dog sort of movement. And he says that Giga is massively undervalued according to all metrics and will go parabolic in 2025. It's the simplest, most obvious, most normie-friendly play in crypto history. And he described it. He says it's the number one masculinity coin in the world, the big one. A highly spiritual, empowering, and motivating meme. People will buy what they like at the emotional level. This coin inspires me as it does millions of others. And he basically sees this and Retardio, which, where did that end up? Oh, that ended up really high. I'll get to that in a second. As sort of like a rebuttal to the anti-wokeness that is becoming the mainstream thing. So this was the woke mind virus in media over time. And you can see the use of words like sexist and racist and homophobia and transphobia. These things absolutely flew, especially in mainstream media. And he says they've gone too far, and the counterweight or the swing of the counterweight is about to pop back up. So the Giga Chads and the Retardios, the things that are not politically correct, they're the ones that are going to hit the hardest when the normies or the mainstream or the retail, whatever you want to call them, enter the scene. So that will take us to Retardio over here at a 134.47x. So you put a grand in, and Murad's prediction is that you'll get $134,470 out by the end of 2025, which would be absolutely phenomenal. But fascinating enough, if you're going to put your money in one token that has the highest potential return, according to Murad, in the meme coin sector right now, it is still SPX 6900. He's got a $100 billion target on that. The fake target is flipping the stock market, or the S&P 500, which is apparently at a $46 trillion market cap. So that's the joke one, the highest mimetic ceiling, he calls it. But he holds $23 million worth of SPX 6900, and he believes it's got 140x to go. You put in a grand, you get out 140 grand. You put in 10 grand, you get out 1.4 million, according to Murad and his meme coin predictions. We're going to continue to keep you updated on these tokens. And also, if you're interested in deep diving this even further, we've done a big deep dive inside our inner circle on Murad. We also have wallet tracker notifications set up. So if he buys a new meme coin on the wallets that got exposed in the Zach XBT leak, which were about 11 of his wallets, we are going to give you a push notification to your phone so you can get in before everybody else and the retail even comes. But way before retail, but way before the early adopters. You want to get in as quickly as possible. That's all available inside the inner circle. Link in the description below. Let's get ahead of retail. Let's make a lot of money together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.